Yo, what's up, guys?
We're live
How you doing?
yet again. Did not expect it 2 nights in a row, but here we are.
Yep, here we are again. I'm super ecstatic that you guys liked this last one that we did. We talked about it a little bit. We're definitely going to start trying to live stream a little bit more often for you all. Answer some questions, get some dialogue going. But so today we're doing basically just like start sits. We're going to go through game by game. As you know, if you've watched this channel, that we do game predictions every week, kind of keep score. Max has a 2-game lead on me on the season.
3 game.
We just said 2.
3. 43-21.
No, you're thinking about how I went 13-3.
Shut up. I'm 3 games ahead.
All right, so he's 3 games ahead of me.
Carter
right
had
now.
a heck of a week last week, though.
So yeah, guys, let's just get into it, and then, if you guys join, I guess you're only hearing this.
Well, the video.
If you are watching, you
can
can ask some questions for us. Probably won't be more than an hour tonight.
Right.
Yesterday we were just up way too late, and
we got a little.
If you're watching this in the future, if you're not watching this live, you can still leave a comment and we'll get to it at some point in time.
Absolutely.
Obviously before the week. So,
all right,
guys, let's just get started.
So we didn't get to touch on Thursday game preview like we usually do. So I'll start with that game. Bears coming into Washington. I think our rule still stands. Whoever plays the Bears, you're starting them.
Yep.
I really like Sam Howell as a stream option this week, guys. I just picked him up in another league because my quarterback was Daniel Jones. That has not worked out, so I went and got Sam Howell, picked him up against the Bears at home. Should be a good matchup for him. I think Terry McLaurin does well. I think Brian Robinson is going to have another great game.
Yeah,
he's had a great season so far, and I think he's going to stack onto that with this. No reason I can't see that happening. I do think watch for Jahan Dotson and Samuel. I'm not really looking to start them right now, although I think
definitely not Samuel.
Yeah, I think Dotson could be a bit of a spot play. He is coming a little injured on a short week, so that's something to keep an eye on, guys, if he is on your team. I like the Redskins defense in this matchup, obviously. Mm-hmm. Logan Thomas is a solid tight end. I don't want to break down tight end too much because that's just a crapshoot, like we always say.
It is.
But yeah, so I like Washington this week. I like the matchups they have. Sam Howell's I think he's a top waiver wire quarterback. Him and Stroud are probably those top 2 guys off the top of my head.
Yep. We talked about that a little bit yesterday too. You can start Sam Howell this week.
Chicago side of things, I want to start out by saying I do like I like DJ Moore a lot in this matchup. Washington, we have a good defense. Our pass defense has been very poor. So I think DJ Moore is a smash start this week. I think Justin Fields is looking to build off of what he just did. His confidence is probably a little high. Typically, we aren't great at containing running quarterbacks. I don't know statistically where we stand on that right now, but I feel like as a Redskins fan watching them, my brain always hurts playing mobile quarterbacks. So I like Justin Fields this week. I like DJ Moore. Khalil Herbert, I think, is going to have tough sledding. We do have a really good run defense. So I think that's going to be a little tough. He did come off a great week. I think Khalil Herbert is certainly a sell high. If you can package him in a trade to go get someone on your team, I think that's a good move that you want to make. Obviously, you have limited time now with the Thursday game incoming. Cole Kmet, not the worst you can do, but certainly not the best. Obviously, tight end 3 because of his his great week last week, put up 27 points. But just not a great matchup. Not a great matchup, not a terrible matchup.
I'll just back that up a little bit. Yeah, running backs, you guys are bottom of the pack, you're good at stopping it.
Yes.
All right. So when I say bottom of the pack, I mean they're ranked. They're giving up
low
bottom
amounts.
half points in PPR to running backs. Number 7 against wide receivers, and Cole Kmet you probably won't start last. So they're giving up 5.32 points per game in PPR. So if you want 5 points, like you probably get anyways from your tight
You
ends.
can go stream someone else.
Yeah, I'd just go
So
stream.
pick up Jake
else.
Ferguson or Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is available in 37% of leagues we looked yesterday.
Is he still?
I don't know.
Waivers just went through today.
That is true. Go ahead and check on that.
Check.
So that kind of wraps up our feelings on that game. There's not much depth in that game. You really have your quarterbacks, your stud receivers, and then Brian Robinson. Logan Thomas, I think, is a good start at tight end. Who are you going with in this one?
Man, it's the last time that they won against? Did they win that Thursday night game last year?
No, we won.
You won?
Yeah. I don't know the last time they won, but
It's probably before that then. I'm gonna go with Washington.
yeah, that's where I'm leaning. I think we're obviously a better team than Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're good by any means.
Yeah,
right.
Not
right.
yet. No.
Yeah. So moving to Buffalo. This is a London game. So this is kind of funny to me. It's just a side note. Like Jacksonville's staying the whole week in London, right?
Yeah.
Okay, playing 2 back-to-back London games. So Jacksonville guys playing against the Bills. Jacksonville is the away team technically, but
What's up, Ray?
it doesn't really matter.
Glad to see you back, bro.
Hey, what's up, Ray? Yeah, good to see you back, bro. So Buffalo coming off an explosive week against Miami. I think all those guys are starts. I like Gabe Davis still. I think you have to ride his hot hand right now. Obviously, he could burn you on a bust week, but he's got 3 touchdowns in 3 straight games now. He's getting it done, and if Josh Allen's gonna be explosive like he is right now, Gabe Davis is a flex in my opinion.
They're on a roll.
Yeah. So obviously you're starting Josh Allen, you're starting James Cook, you're starting Stephon Diggs. I'm looking for a bounce back from James Cook, although Jacksonville does have a really solid run defense. We did see Bijan exploit that. So with the Bills being such an explosive offense, I think James Cook's obviously he's gonna find his opportunities.
Yeah.
Without a doubt in my mind. And then just to touch on Knox and Kincaid, guys, that's going to be a headache. We don't really like either of them. I like Kincaid a little more than Knox. I think he's more talented. He's a first-round pick, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's up to you guys if you want to go ahead and play them. I think there are better options.
I wouldn't go with either of them.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
also
Knox if you had to start one.
See, if you had to start one, I'm leaning Kincaid. I just think he's the more talented guy. But yeah, that shows you right there, like how we're feeling. The Jags though, we're still waiting for that get right game. Like you and I have said this since week 1, and it's not what.
Scrappy plays Fortnite's back. He said, "Hey, fancy nerds, I'm in the vault, looting up before the game starts."
All right, bro.
Hey, loot yourself up with some Jake Ferguson. Hopefully you got Cooper Kupp to come out of the vault. You got Jonathan Taylor.
So the Jags were waiting for that bounce back game. Trevor Lawrence has not looked like the Trevor Lawrence we've wanted to see.
Chandler's back. What's up, brother?
Yo, Chandler. He was the first guy I commented last night. Yeah, shout out to you. Calvin really has not done what we've expected for him to do since that week 1 explosion against Indianapolis. This offense has looked out of whack. ETN has really only been the consistent guy, even though he didn't have a great week last week. But, I mean, you're starting ETN. You're starting Ridley. I'm a Kirk guy. I like Kirk. I like the work he's gotten. Zay Jones is still on the injury report. I think Kirk has kind of taken back, shown like, hey, dude, like you're gonna give me touches.
Yeah.
You know, so I like him, and obviously Evan Ingram is one of the few tight ends that week in and week out we're gonna tell you to absolutely start. Like he has no question marks. He's done really well.
Yeah, Kirk's been doing it on like the reduced snap count that we expected,
right.
But the question was, can he still produce with that snap count? He's proven unequivocally without Zay Jones. Yeah. Yes.
It's funny because him and Ridley are like flipped script since week 1.
Yeah.
Like Ridley had the explosion week 1, hasn't done much since. Kirk total opposite, 1.9 points week 1, and has now exploded since then. So those guys are starts. Behind that, obviously not much. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, you'd like to think this is an explosive game, right? Like, I'm thinking you're starting him unless you have a better option with a better match. Who would you start? Trevor Lawrence against the Bills or Sam Howell against the Bears?
Sam Howell against the Bears.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they held the Dolphins 20 points. I mean, I don't see. Like.
Gotcha.
Until I see it with the Jaguars, yeah, definitely.
I feel you. All right. Where are you leaning? Are you going Buff?
Yes. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
Buffalo.
I think Buffalo stays hot.
All right, got I took the Saquon trade. Felt like y'all were a part of accepting it, so keeping y'all in the loop. Dude, great job going ahead and getting yourself an RB1.
Yep.
Tough schedule coming up, but that's awesome.
Saquon.
Guys, my trade got rejected yesterday.
Lamb trade got rejected.
Okay. Yeah,
Says,
I mean,
I have a chance to get Keenan Allen and Aaron Jones on my team. So we love Keenan. Aaron Jones, I think once he gets healthy, like he's one of the most electric. Like I feel like he's one of the more overlooked electric guys in fantasy.
he is.
Like he's a bit inconsistent, but I decided not to do the Waddle trade because I don't want Sanders as my RB2. I second that.
I third it.
Yeah, so I think, bro, if you have the chance to get Keenan and Aaron, let us know like what you're looking to propose. But I think those are two guys that are great to go. Aaron Jones is definitely a buy low because his owner is probably frustrated, just with the week 1 explosion and lack of production since then because of injury and coming back. His first week back was not great.
Yeah.
So
not great is
that's a bit of
sure.
an understatement. Moving to Atlanta. The Texans are coming in town, a team that you're liking, I'm liking. CJ Stroud, guys, is probably the number 1 waiver wire pickup, and not even just matchup based, but season long. I think both of us really like him. 300-plus yards in the last 3 games. No picks so far. Has 2 fumbles on the season, but no interceptions. So, props to CJ. He's a great pickup if you're in deep need of a quarterback. I think Dameon Pierce, the Falcons do have an underrated rush defense. I do think Dameon Pierce is going to start. I don't know. I feel him rising a little bit. I think he's a guy that needs a little bit warming up into the season, get started. This is a young, upcoming offense. If Laramie Tunsil, their all-pro left tackle, can come back, that is a huge boost to not only C.J. Stroud, obviously, in his blind side, but Dameon Pierce on the ground. So I like Pierce. I think you start him. He's a flex for me right now, a high-end flex. But he's a guy that nonetheless I think has to be in your lineup unless you have clearly better options. And then, so what's your opinion on the receivers in Houston right now?
I like them both, honestly.
Yeah, Nico and Tank.
I mean, I don't think you can say that one's going to do better than the other week after week. I think that's kind of going to flip-flop a little bit. But Nico's going to be a more consistent guy.
Right.
Tank Dell, 2 weeks ago he had 25 points.
Right.
So he's due for those. And Nico did
busted
the same.
Nico busted last week. So Nico's had like 3 great weeks, and then he busted week 3.
When Tank Dell went off.
But, right.
Yeah, I mean,
but we saw them week 2 simultaneously do well. So
he can support a full roster of fantasy players.
Right.
So yeah, I like them both. I think you can flex Tank and probably put Nico as like a
I have Nico started.
receiver
yeah.
too.
I have Nico, Puka, and Ayuk who are kind of all on the same level right now, really.
Yeah.
So I'm getting all 3 of them in my lineup though. So that's where I stand with them. Obviously, you just heard what Carter thought. Dalton Schultz, guys, is a tight end who he had a great bounce back week last week. Another one of those fringe guys that it's hard to just tell you on a week-to-week basis what we think, what we feel. Evan Ingram obviously had a solid week against the Falcons. Evan Ingram is at a different level than Schultz is, though. But Schultz is a guy that maybe you go pick up if your tight end happens to be on bye or if you just like the matchup against the Falcons. But he's not a guy that's like, I'm pressing.
So, yes, this dude I'm trading with only has Aaron Jones, but then after that they have bad RBs because they had Dobbins. Their RB2 is Singletary.
The worst team in the league. They also lost Mike. Oh my. Ooh.
Should I trade Montgomery, Kirk, Pierce, and Dobbs for Keenan Allen and Aaron Jones? I like that.
It would be Hurts, Keenan Allen, Olave, Barkley, Aaron Jones, Metcalf. Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
I like that because you're doing kind of like what we talked about yesterday. Clearing out your depth a little bit and getting your studs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that for you. Keenan Allen's
a top 12 locked in rest of the year. Right. Barring any injury, just like any player's projection. Yeah. And Aaron Jones, he's finished he's right around RB.
He's finished as a RB1 all but one season in his career.
It makes sense.
Yeah. He gets it done every year.
Yeah. So,
staying with this game, guys, the Falcons, the only guy I'm looking to start in this matchup is Bijan. Outside of, I'm a Drake London owner. It's really frustrating. You got to play the Falcons. You can only play Drake London on a week. I'm sorry. I'm trying to see how good.
Way better than getting Sanders, so I thought it all of it out to have a good RB2. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's an absolutely killer lineup.
How good is Houston against the run? I should have this pulled up.
Let me see. Team stats.
Fantasy points.
Defense, rushing. So Houston is giving up.
Houston's in the bottom 5 or bottom 8 for running backs. Like good. That's good to go against them.
Yeah, 466 rushing yards over 4 weeks, so almost 100.
Yeah,
over 100
so
yards a game.
They're allowing the 7th most points to running backs, so that's really good for Bijan. Algier could be a spot start here if you absolutely need him. Drake London might be a guy that if you need him in your lineup, I don't mind, because if they can get that running game going, that greatly helps Desmond Ridder. So I think Drake London is not a bad flex option this week. I would like to see you do better. If you do have Drake London, comment below, or if you're watching it live and you have Drake London, let us know who else you have. That's something that is hard to sort out. Thankfully, I have 3 receivers that I'm clearing Drake London with. But Bijan's really the only guy that I can look at that Falcons team right now and say start.
Yeah.
Are we both leaning Houston here? It's in Atlanta. I just think Houston's the hot hand. I really like Houston right now.
This is the game where I take Houston and it's Atlanta.
And it's Atlanta.
I've actually been kind of an Atlanta homer this year for some odd reason. They're not that great of a team, but I'm going to go with Atlanta and just get some split going here.
First split.
So Ray goes on to say, and Allen better than Waddle so far,
yes.
And Allen is wide receiver. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm crossing my fingers, hoping he accepts for his team. His new RB1 would be Monty, and having Pierce as RB2 instead of Singletary. Heck yeah, and Christian Kirk is good. He also has Gabe and Dobbs. It's more like an upside guy so far. He's only had one bad game.
Drake London was dropped.
Dude.
I mean. Okay, so, I mean, I'm a London owner. I would never drop Drake London. I would certainly go pick him up if I were you. He's definitely better than the last guy on your bench. He's going to be hard to predict week to week. He obviously has great touchdown potential every single week. He's a big play type of guy. It's just a matter of fact of if they can get that passing game going. Like I said, if they're going against a team that has a weak run defense like Houston, then that passing offense can open up for Drake London. So that's just something to keep in mind. I would certainly go pick him up, Chandler. Without a doubt in my mind, there's no reason you should be on your waiver wires. So that's how I assess that. Didn't want to do Moss because I know Taylor is officially back. Yeah. So, all right. Moving to Detroit. The 0-4 Panthers are coming in town. Detroit's favored by 10 points in this. So we'll start with the Panthers. Bryce Young's not on the fantasy radar right now. I wouldn't even pick him up. Miles Sanders, dude, he's still dealing with that groin injury. Detroit is tough sledding on the ground. So I'm not looking as bad as this is. I liked Miles Sanders coming into the season. He's been getting good receiving work. He's a guy I think you have to sit right now.
Okay, yeah. In that case, you're not picking up Drake London. Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Christian Watson, Tank Dell, and Jameson Williams.
Can only hold 5 wide receivers.
I like that more than... I like all those guys more than London. Like, the reason I laugh at it, one, is because, he still is a wide receiver 1, so just on the waiver wire is ridiculous. But, you guys know my stance. Pretty sure I said it yesterday. I'm not a huge Falcons receiving guy.
Right.
They're going to just try to manage the game as much as possible every game. Didn't want to do Moss because I know Taylor is officially back. Absolutely. I think trading away Pierce is just fine if you're getting Aaron Jones. Keenan Allen would be great. And I'm back in the win column. Let's go.
That's where we all want to be.
My wide receivers are okay. Yeah. So I think as a Chubb owner, I just want to have 2 good running backs again. Not as powerful, obviously, but basically going back to having a whole solid. Yeah, your team is absolutely filled out.
I feel you, man. Fellow Chubb owner, ex-Chubb owner. So, Panthers Lions. I think you have to continue to start Adam Thielen, at least flex him. He's, I think, our greatest sell high candidate this week. Not that I think he's going to be bad, but I think he's a guy that kind of flames out, an older guy. If you can get someone in return a little younger on a better offensive team,
Thielen,
that's certainly what I would go for.
Sell high right now.
Yeah, sell high right now on Thielen. No one else on that team I'm really looking to start. Obviously, some guys could break out. DJ Chark could have one of his games. This is a return game for him against Detroit, playing for them last year, I believe it was. No one else on that Panthers offense is really enticing. Detroit has a really underrated defense going right now. In terms of Detroit, so what's your thoughts on Goff? Because we both like this passing defense for the Panthers. It is a home game, though.
Okay.
He does do really well at home.
What's up, Side-Eye?
Side-Eye, back in, bro.
Let's go. Jameson Williams claimed off waivers. So you talked about Thielen. Like, okay. I would go ahead and trade Thielen for Jameson Williams.
Really?
If you if Thielen isn't someone you're already starting,
right? I feel you.
Or like even
the upside's just way
Yeah, or Christian Watson, Tank Dell. I think I would take probably any of them over. That's hard to say.
Or if you could go get a guy like Jalen Waddle. Like, didn't one of our guys watching trade Thielen and someone for Waddle last night?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, if you can go get like a struggling top tier wide receiver right now and package Thielen and someone, then that's great.
Yeah.
So with that Jameson Williams pickup, he's coming back against the Panthers. I don't know how much we're going to see him. Obviously, game conditioning is a little bit different than just being able to get out there and run. But Amon-Ra is obviously a start. I like both running. Carolina's number 29 in points allowed to running back. So Monty's obviously a start. I'm starting Jahmyr Gibbs. I have to. Like, I drafted him in the second round. At some point, he's gonna have that game where he bursts onto the scene. Sam Laporte is a start. I'm not starting Jameson Williams. It's his first game back. It's just way too risky to me. Like, he's played like one game his entire career.
Right. I mean, I think we do see it. Like, I expect
it's gonna happen through the season.
I expect a good week from him in like the first 2 or 3 weeks back.
Yeah.
He's gonna get that Josh Reynolds.
So obviously Laporta guys, and Detroit's defense is a great start this week.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just picked them up off the waivers, slotted them into my lineup. I'm probably doomed at running back this weekend. I'm trying to remember. There was a lot of lineups going on.
Side-Eye, let us know your running backs.
And then also still have Jacoby Myers. That's great. Jacoby Myers is a great asset. If this trade gets accepted, I get to keep Christian Watson. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I penciled you in for Detroit.
Yeah, I'm going to Detroit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A very intriguing matchup. Titans-Colts in Indianapolis. A game AFC South. We joke about this a lot.
What's up, ASDAF G-Hop? What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
Same guy from yesterday.
Welcome back. Yeah. Awesome. Titans-Colts. So Tannehill's not really a start to me.
Nope.
Like, not someone I'm looking to get in.
Nope.
Derrick Henry's a start in AFC South matchups. That guy goes nuts.
Mm-hmm.
We both had him as bust last week. We both look like idiots now.
Yep.
But Derrick Henry's in your lineup week in, week out. D-Hop, that's someone I want to see get going. We saw him have a huge target share week 1. Has not really produced since then. Has been a little hampered by injury. If that Titans offense can open up, continue the running game, I like D-Hop week in, week out. I want to note someone, Kyle Phillips. So a lot of y'all probably don't know him. Carter, I don't even know if you know who he is.
Do not.
Kyle Phillips, wide receiver for the Titans. I have him in my IR slot right now. He's a guy who I think is going to help open up this Titans offense, serving that underneath type of Adam Thielen-esque role. So I have him. I'm interested to see what he does. This will be his first week back. I just think he's going to help open that. They don't really have someone that can play that role. You have D-Hop, Traylon Burks, and Westbrook Akeen. I think that's how you say his name.
Westbrook Akeen.
Yeah, Akeen. And they're all kind of like similar mold receivers.
Yeah.
So Kyle Phillips can help. So he's a guy I would keep an eye on. You'll be ahead of your league mates on him. They won't know who he is. But anyways, Henry is a play. Hopkins is a play. Everyone else on the Titans is a sit, in my opinion.
Yep. So probably doomed at running back. Okay, Kenneth Walker on a bye. Saquon off his injury. You're still going to start Saquon even though he's off his. Javonte Williams is so. Who did the Broncos play?
The Jets.
We're going to get into it.
Yeah.
So
he's also coming off that hip injury right now.
Yeah, that's tough.
Tajay Spears and Roshan. Whew.
So yeah, I would start Saquon and
Tajay.
Going with the Tajay start.
You have to.
Has he had a good game yet though?
I mean, he's had good usage. Like,
that's true.
Snap share If Anthony Richardson forces them into a negative game script, Tyjae's going to be on the field.
That's true. I would probably go Javonte, but I think you can go either Javonte or
Javonte might not even play, bro.
Okay, so
he's coming off that hip injury.
If he doesn't play, if he does play, I think he gets the opportunity.
If he plays, then that means he's healthy enough to be playing, obviously. So yeah, I would play him.
Trying to pull off the Cup trade. Y'all told me yesterday he didn't want to give him up and wanted to wait. Yeah, bro. I mean, once you decline the trade and then try to go back to it,
tried same offer with Chase, but Chase owner also rejected. I'm going to try and play with Diggs. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Diggs. So also, bro, I remember your team was really good. Like I'm pretty sure you have a lot of depth. Like you're not pressed to make a move, but obviously I think you were one of those guys in those situations where you almost had too much depth.
Yeah, too many good players.
Yeah, which is, I guess,
doesn't sound like it makes sense.
Right.
Here's my 4-0 team: Hurts, Adams, DJ Moore, CMC, James Cook, Waller, Mostert, and flex. Bass Cowboys D, but playing Miami this week.
Right. His bench. Oh, Pacheco, bro. I would get Pacheco in your lineup over Mostert.
I would too.
Or Kyron. Wow.
Wait. Oh, okay. So yeah, you're playing Kyron.
Yeah.
And CMC, and then I would flex James Cook. And then, Waller's been a little bit disappointing.
The Chiefs have a good matchup this week against the Vikings, though, so I might lean Pacheco. The Rams play, and obviously we'll get to it.
You can't go wrong, really, with Pacheco.
The Rams do play the Eagles. The Eagles have a really good run defense.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be mad about starting, Pacheco, Kyron, or I would sit Mostert here and play with Pacheco, Kyron.
You said I'll play Pacheco. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I think he's rolling right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously Kyron is too. Kyron is nursing an injury right now. Also plays Rams have a rough matchup. Absolutely. Philly's pass defense has been poor this year. Run defense is stout as always. So finishing up this Titans-Colts game, Anthony Richardson, guys, absolute start. A guy that Carter and I have been raving about now. Love him. Him and Stroud are two rookie quarterbacks that are really getting it done. Jonathan Taylor's coming back. So that's going to be really, really, really interesting to see how that split works with him and Zach Moss. Zach Moss has been successful while Taylor has been out. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor comes back in as the alpha. That is undoubtedly going to happen. Michael Pittman had a really down week last week, only one reception. I expect big bounce back from him. Titans' pass defense is poor. Playing in Indianapolis at home is going to help him. So Michael Pittman he's a guy that you're going to get in your lineup. A guy we've been talking about since the preseason. So I like Pittman. I like Richardson. So what's your final verdict on Jonathan Taylor this week? If he's playing, are you starting him?
Me personally, in my situation, absolutely 1,100%. In that situation, I know some of you guys have like Saquon, Kamara, and JT. So I mean, in that situation, I try
to flex a receiver, if you can.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, dude, like, if he plays and they don't mention a pitch count or snap count or whatever, I would go ahead and play. Like, I see the point to both sides. Me personally, I would probably just go ahead and play him, seeing how good Zach Moss is.
Jonathan Taylor.
But going up against Titans, I can see why you would stop him.
Yeah.
Or why you would not.
So who are you going with? Indy or Tennessee?
Ooh.
In Indy.
Okay.
That's a tight one.
In Indy. What's the Titans' record?
They're both 2-2. Yeah. Titans coming off that nice one.
I'm going with the Titans.
All right. I'm going to Indy. I'm a fan.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try to step up the offer a touch and offer Saquon and Jacob for Diggs. I'm guessing that's Josh Jacobs or Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, he said Jacoby right below it.
Oh, okay.
Saquon and Jacoby. Yeah, I don't mind that.
I like that.
Ray said I usually make my final decision Saturday. Yeah. Outside of fantasy, it could be a stretch, but hopefully the Ravens make a play at Adams JT.
Dude, I've been saying that the Ravens need to go after
you
Jonathan
have been saying
Taylor,
that for a minute.
Like that sounds like almost as good as like Swift and Philly. Like it just makes sense.
Yeah. So let's move to this next game. This is a easy one. Dolphins and Giants. Miami's favored by 11. Start everyone with an MIA next to their name. Besides Durham Smythe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Achane has taken over as the RB1 in that offense. Just the youth. Mostert's explosive. Do not get me wrong, but Achane, there's levels. Like Achane is like.
Yeah. I still have no problem playing Mostert.
Yeah, I think in a matchup like this, that whole offense can be played.
It's gonna explode. Yeah.
I would like to see a Jalen Waddle game here. I'd like to see him put up at least 15. He has not done well thus far. Obviously, he suffered the concussion in week 3. Has 4 receptions in every single game. But the Giants guys, if you got Saquon and he's starting and he's playing, I think you're playing him. It's Saquon Barkley. We know the type of workload he gets. He has the potential. Yeah, he's that offense. I had him last year. He is that offense. So he and Waller are the only 2 guys I'm confident in right now. Wan'Dale Robinson is a good season-long stash, I believe. We've touched on him the past 2 or 3 weeks now, I believe. He's a guy I'm confident in season-long. Saw him get 6 receptions for 50 yards last week, and that was a really poor week from the Giants, obviously. Danny Dimes, guys, is relegated to the bench now. A guy I was clearly wrong about coming to the season, has had a makeshift offensive line, so that has not helped. But it's going to be a lopsided game. Am I safe to pencil us both in for Miami here?
Yeah, I'm going Miami over in New York.
I don't know if you got anything. Yeah, I mean, guys, like I'm not even going to read into the stats in this one. This is just one of those games where
you just kind of know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so worth mentioning because I think that the running back situation is probably the headline. You know, Mostert's still the RB2 on the season. Last game, 60% of the snaps went. Achane was in, and Mostert saw 43.1. A lot of times, Mostert too is like split out, kind of used as a receiver. So,
right, that's why it's 60-40.
Yeah,
you're getting greater than 100%.
Right, 43 is a little bit concerning for me for Mostert, but as of now, you can still play him. Or I will.
Achane's fantasy points for 100 snaps is 61. That's stupid, bro.
Yeah,
that's so crazy. Yeah, that's wild. So moving to New England, we got
Julio Villa. I think.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't there.
Mariano had the same. He had the same color in his name.
Yeah. Okay. Trade Pollard for Devontae Adams full PPR.
Lineup would be Bijan, James Conner, Olave, Devontae Ferguson, Deontay Johnson, Zay Jones, Jameson Williams.
So in your situation, I would. Okay, Deontay Johnson's.
I feel like he does need a receiver.
Yeah, and James Conner as an RB2 is absolutely fine with me.
And also Deontay Johnson could be coming back in 2 weeks, I believe, something like that. He's expected to miss about like 4 weeks or so.
Yeah, I think he got injured week 1.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right.
Probably a week or 2.
Yeah, 6 or 7. I'd probably pencil him for 7 just to
So, dude, giving up Pollard's huge.
Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams. And Devontae is a guy that I had a lot of questions coming in with this season, and he's clearly, he got hurt the entire first half for the Chargers, against the Chargers game.
Yeah.
And literally came back second half, 8 receptions, 75 yards. So, Devontae is getting it done no matter who's throwing him the ball. I got no worries about him.
38.2% target share.
Yeah, no, he's arguably the most dominant receiver right now. I said this, I think 2 weeks ago. I have him pegged as the number 1 receiver right now. In terms of just NFL.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Maybe Tyreek. Tyreek's just a different.
You got Tyreek, JJ, and Devontae. Those are the top 3 guys.
Yeah.
But,
I think Devontae's better.
Kind of pick and choose, but yeah.
Ravens spent some draft capital on Roquan last season. We can probably agree that was a huge payoff. I hope they aren't stingy this season and take
They're typically not a team that does though, so that's the thing. So to answer Julio's question, I do like that trade for you. I would like to see you get some more depth at running back. I'm a huge Bijan guy. RB6 on the season. James Conner's had a great season thus far. I don't know if you have someone else on your bench. Obviously, I'm assuming that's not your full team. But I think you do need that wide receiver too. And getting Olave and Devontae is great. Devontae would be your wide receiver 1 in reality. But I think that's a solid trade for you. So Julio, I would go do that trade. I think that's a great move for you.
Yeah, Olave and Devontae on the same team. Yeah, great.
So moving to New England, the Saints are coming into town. New England has not looked great. So starting with the Saints, guys, Derek Carr is the headline for the Saints team right now. Still AC sprain, so in his shoulder is still lingering. That's why we saw Kamara get 14 check down targets last week. He was not throwing the ball deep, really couldn't, and was not doing it effectively, clearly. So that is something to keep an eye on. If he practices in full by the end of the week, that is very encouraging as an Olave owner, as a Michael Thomas owner, even Rashid Shaheed.
I was struggling with Olave on my team. Trade away Sutton and Gabe Davis, McLaurin, PPR, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what your receivers if he could be in a situation where he already has 2 stud guys. So if you already have 2 really good, Super C and B challengers, welcome to the pod, bro. First time we've seen you. So if you have 2 receivers on top of those, Sutton and Davis, that are clear wide receiver 1 and 2 guys, I don't mind that trade, but in a vacuum, I would not. Usually we do. I hope Derek Carr sits the.
Bro.
No, because Winston slings that thing. But to get back to that question, I mean, McLaurin is the best player in that trade. Has seen a little bit of uptick since the Denver game. Had a great game against Denver, 5 receptions, 55 yards and a touchdown, if I recall correctly, and then had 8 for 88 this past week. So
CD, AJ Brown, and DK. Okay, so you already have a bunch of depth at wide receiver, but
I mean, if you can go get McLaurin, there's no because bro, think if he has a bye, then he just slots in McLaurin. Like, to me, that's a trade I would make.
I think that's an upgrade from Sutton.
That's a trade I would make for sure.
So yeah, I would too. I just don't like Russell Wilson too. So
those are great receivers.
Yeah.
So the Saints guys, Alvin Kamara's a start. Olave is a start contingent on he's a guy you're going to start regardless, but I'm just not confident in him if Derek Carr is injured going into the game. Although you would expect him to be better 1 week off of that injury. So Olave is obviously a start. Michael Thomas is a flex play. If Carr is still hurt going into the weekend, I'm not playing Michael Thomas. If Winston plays, though, I think you can play Thomas and Olave.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick, got to do my games pack as well. Haha. Yeah, right. Let us know what your picks are as we go through this, who you agree with.
And then you said it,
I hope some support over here.
I hope Winston plays. Then Carr would come back a week after, Super C and B challengers. All right, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, man. No, you have great receivers. I think that McLaurin trade would be great for you on bye weeks, or if someone gets injured, that's a surefire guy you can slot in right there. So that's great.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. So, also, thing to note for the Saints wide receivers going up against the Patriots, Christian Gonzalez, the stud rookie out of Oregon, tore his labrum in his shoulder. So, he's out. They don't have their cornerback 1. So, I think this is a great game for Saints receivers. Patriots side of things, guys, I'm really not looking to start anyone. You're starting Ramondre just based off of draft capital. He has not had a great season, averaging under 3 yards per carry so far. Has not really picked up in the receiving game like we're used to him doing. Could be a bounce back week playing at home. I'm just not huge on him. Hunter Henry has had a successful year thus far. Just Patriots offense doesn't really excite us. I think that's safe to say.
I would stay away from their wide receivers. Ramondre is a guy that I would try to get in my lineup. You expect to see him do better throughout the season.
He's a guy
he's projected preseason.
Right.
And then anything else? Mac Jones.
Hunter Henry. Yeah, Mac Jones is not in your lineup.
Hunter Henry's a guy you can play. I mean, if you're balanced, like if you got Njoku and Henry, it doesn't matter.
So I'm leaning New Orleans here. I just think New Orleans has the better squad overall. Patriots don't look, but I feel like there's a.
I'm going Patriots here.
Yeah, I might have to.
Saints looked really good at the beginning of the year, and I think when they have Carr healthy, they are a great team, someone to definitely contend with. We saw they were kind of killing.
Do you want to do contingent upon if Carr's healthy? Like, I feel like the Saints have this in the bag. But if he's not,
I'm going New England regardless.
This is such a New England game.
It is. I mean, dude, like,
it's just like a defensive game. I really want to.
It's in New England.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going New England.
Okay. So
my game picks for every game are Commanders, Bills. Okay, so we both agree on that. Texans.
Yep. You're going Atlanta.
I took Atlanta there.
Lions, Dolphins.
Okay, you went Saints. I'm going New England here.
I'm going New England. He's going Saints. I mean, dude, that's a split game. Like that.
That's tough.
I mean, I got no problem going either way.
What team this week do you guys think will score the least and most? Ooh.
The most, I'd got to say the Dolphins. Not to be cliche, but they're going against the Giants. So
yeah, Dolphins.
The least, I'd say the Panthers going against the Lions.
Who do the 49ers play?
The Cowboys.
Okay, definitely not them. Who do the Chiefs play?
Chiefs play the Vikings.
Oh, I'm going to go Chiefs.
Really?
This week. I think it's just...
So, yeah, Chiefs, Miami, highest scoring, lowest scoring. I'd say the Panthers. Titans, Colts might be kind of low scoring. Ravens, Steelers. We're going to get to that game in a second here.
Probably Steelers.
Saints, Patriots could be low scoring too. So
I'm going to go Steelers and Chiefs.
Okay, so I want to address side eye. So I didn't catch exactly what you said about Kyle Phillips. Is he a stash option? So yeah, so I have him on my IR right now. He's practicing right now. Supposed to come off. I think he's an interesting option because Tennessee does not have that slot receiver position really filled. I think that would greatly benefit their offense. Traylon Burks, Hopkins, and Westbrook-Akine are all kind of possession wide receivers. Akine is more of a stretch the field, big play type of guy. I think Kyle Phillips is going to really aid, almost if you can think of when Tannehill was in Miami with Jarvis Landry. That's the type of role he's going to play. So I think Phillips, if you want to get him in as the last guy on your bench, if you got someone you're looking to drop, I got no problem with him being on your team.
Okay, so C.J. Stroud or Joshua Dobbs got Herbert on a bye this week.
I'm rolling hot hand. Cardinals go against the Bengals, but that's a hard one. I just like Houston just because we've seen an explosive offense out of them.
Yeah, I'm going Stroud. He's a legit quarterback.
Right.
Like we can pencil him in as a guy.
I mean, we even said like he's season long. Like he's on your team.
He'll have fantasy value for years to come. And Josh Dobbs is kind of a fad right now. I've been following the Alex Korf trade value table since the season started. Want to hear your thoughts on it?
We have not. I mean, I haven't seen that.
I don't know who that is. I went with KC scoring the most. And
exactly
Steelers
what you said.
the least. Hey, let's go, baby.
As a Steelers fan. Hey, Ray, let me know your opinion on Najee, bro. I'm a Najee owner. I took him in the third round. I'm not completely out on him. He has his underlying metrics are kind of good, actually. But, outside of that. So
Alex Korf. All right,
So this Saints-Patriots game, we're both going New England?
We're both going New England?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Moving to the Steel City, right on time. Ravens are coming in. Ravens are 3-1. Pittsburgh's 2-2. Put up a real stinker against Houston. Kenny Pickett did practice today.
So what fantasy football trade values for week 5?
So we just got like tiered stuff, their value, and I guess you probably add players up and like get equal value, that sort of thing.
Okay. Let's just run through this real quick, and if anything stands out.
So McCaffrey, like running back.
McCaffrey's 76, Justin Jefferson 74, Tyreek Hill, Tony Pollard, Stephon Diggs, Bijan, A.J. Brown. See, I think Eckler would be above Brown.
I mean, after this last 2 weeks, though, A.J. Brown's been a monster. Eckler has not played for, 3 weeks now?
He's also, A.J. Brown is dominating target share at 35%, so he's doing absolutely great. Kind of contrary to my prediction.
ETN is really high.
I mean, I think with the current running back situation, dude, like it makes.
I would have Kenneth Walker higher than ETN personally.
Really?
Kenneth Walker's having a great season. Right now in terms of trade value, yeah, I think Kenneth Walker holds more weight than ETN right now.
I think I don't know which one I'd rather, but ETN definitely seems a little overvalued, like above Keenan Allen and CD. Travis Kelce way down there.
I mean,
minus 8.5 trend. So he's trending downwards. I don't see why he would be. Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah, he's someone I would just avoid in general until something changes. Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I'm down on him.
Saquon at 52. I think, as we were saying, his schedule's going to be tough. So.
Right. Olave's down slightly. I mean, just coming off the performance. That's all it is.
So would you trade, if you had Jamar Chase, would you trade him for Olave? Because there's a lot of Chase owners right now that are.
I would keep Chase.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Burrow practiced in full today, so that's big.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't mind those two.
I like both of them. Jamar Chase is the elite talent.
I definitely have Saquon above Josh Jacobs.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'd have Saquon above Jamar I'd put Saquon somewhere in 50.
I'd probably say like 56, right
6,
below.
57.
Keenan Allen has to be higher too, in my opinion.
Yeah, so
I would have Keenan Allen smashed between Devontae and Amon-Ra. I think he's better than Amon-Ra. I think he's right below Devontae right now, in my opinion.
And then Saquon, I'd probably put Saquon above ETN.
Yes.
Derrick Henry's seems a little bit undervalued, but I mean this season has been a little bit weird.
I'm surprised Aaron Jones is still that high. Not that I'm out on Aaron Jones, just he hasn't played. You know, he played week 1 and that's it. Like I would have James Cook a little higher. I'd have DeAndre Swift a little higher too.
I would have DeAndre Swift.
I would have Swift. I would have Swift above Jacobs. I would have him above Joe Mixon. I'd have him right below. I'd probably have him right below Kamara.
Yeah. Mark Andrews at 45.
I think that's fair.
That's pretty fair. Nothing standing out too much for me here. DK Metcalf seems pretty low for what he's been. I don't see any Cooper Kupp here, which I mean is understandable because he hasn't played. But guys, once he plays, like, dude, yeah. So Cooper Kupp and Breece Hall are right there.
Below Dameon Pierce. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Garrett Wilson above Cooper Kupp. I mean, I think rest of the season we're gonna see that as ridiculous. Sam Laporta seems very low. Kyron Williams seems, very a little bit low for me.
Yeah.
Similar to, like, David Montgomery.
Even Brian Robinson.
Well,
I guess that's kind of fair for Robinson, personally.
So, yeah, it's hard to, like, assess this on the fly real quick. It seems, like, decently accurate.
Yeah, he's got his stuff, that's for sure.
There's a couple players I'd probably switch around, but nothing that stands out too much.
I mean, props to him for putting in that type of work, though.
Yeah, bro. Like,
so,
comparing...
that's a lot.
Like, comparing, like...
The entire field.
Yeah, and, like,
of players.
What's a quarterback, like, base value versus a running back base value?
Like how, and, like, with the Kelsey thing, where does Kelsey first slot in at, you know?
Yeah, because in the sense, if you want to say, like, value over the field, Kelsey would be the... Like,
he'd be the number one guy, yeah.
So, I don't know a lot of people that have Kelsey that are trying to trade him away, you know?
All right, so I'm going to hop into this game. Ravens-Steelers... Kenny Pickett's practicing, which is good for the Steelers offense, even though things have not been pretty. Najee, personally, I'm sitting him. I have 3 good receivers. I have Gibbs and Kamara. Those are my 2 running backs. I'm sitting Najee this week. Ravens defense is good. The run defense is always good. I have not allowed a rushing touchdown this far in the season. But Najee historically has been good against the Ravens, so interesting there. I don't like Freiermuth is not practicing. I really don't like anyone on the Steelers this week. Personally, they're all sits to me.
Yeah, same.
Lamar's obviously a start. I think Gus Edwards you can try to flex. He hasn't been great. I think you and I kind of.
I think there's better options.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a guy that we said you could probably flex in a crunch.
I would say obviously Mark Andrews is a start. Zay Flowers is a start. Baltimore defense is a start. Mm-hmm. So that's where I would lean that game. I'm definitely leaning Baltimore in this.
I'm going Baltimore as well.
Baltimore looked really good last week, although they went against Dorian Thompson-Robinson at quarterback. So what have we gotten since?
Yeah. So
Julio, what did he say?
Just think Pollard might get lost in that offense. Some games of the defense just dominates, and Pollard wouldn't benefit from the red zone. Dude, he's super good.
Pollard's insane. I had him last year. He's really good, but that is a valid point. We've seen that in 2 weeks already. He was trading Pollard for Devontae.
We saw the Patriots defense be like this dominant. I think it was 2-3 years ago where they were
2 years ago they were defense 1, I believe.
Yeah, defense 1 scoring like 20 points a game.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, Dallas's defense still is legit, but they can't keep this they can't play
right.
This
it doesn't just like continue to
at
happen.
some point Pollard's going to, become the main focus of their scoring. So, just don't look too much into
if you can get Devontae Adams though, cuz that's his initial question.
But I still like
the
trade.
Yeah. Side-eye said, thank you on the Phillips question. Raiders are always going to have to throw. Yes, Julio, that's a great point. I think Najee will still get around 50 to 65 yards this week, no touchdown. Yeah, that's where I lean. He said, I like Bijan over Pollard. Hope Heineke gets in there. Yeah, I actually saw a lot on Heineke possibly coming in. I think they'll stick with Ritter for now, though. Side-eye said, I thought MT and the Steelers OC was married to Najee, but it might be a different tune soon. Jalen Warren might take his job this weekend.
Dude, I think Jalen Warren will, by next season, be the starter. Like, starting next season, I think Warren will be the starter. I just don't
see Warren as starter material. Like, he's not that good on the ground. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a great receiving back. He gets all the receiving work for them, but he's just not that guy on the – he can't take a full workload, I feel like. Like, he has to be a complimentary back. That's how I view him.
my prediction would be he's starter. But yeah, I mean, I don't watch too much of the Steelers, to be honest. So.
Would you trade Bijan? No. I'm so high on Bijan. He's arguably the best running back in the NFL right now, besides Christian McCaffrey.
Dude, he's so dirty.
Yeah, no.
He's in probably the best situation possible for a running back. I'm okay with trading either, but just for the record, I would keep Pollard over Bijan.
Yeah.
Surprised about Olave.
So probably us being kind of low on him, or maybe his poor performance.
Not gonna lie, Olave and Waddle or buy lows. I do agree.
I think Waddles is definitely a buy low. Olave might be kind of hard to pry just because he's only had one poor week, and he's been very dominant outside of that.
Right.
People are saying Monty is so high. So we've kind of touched on this. Like, I don't think he's necessarily sell high. It's just like he does have very great value right now.
Yeah,
but like I think he keeps. I would keep him. Derrick Henry was my dude, bro. Had many championships with him. Yeah, he's great. What did Matthew say? He's new. Got no RB2 this week. Should I start Khalil Herbert or McLaughlin?
Oh.
The Redskins have a great run defense. So in respect to Khalil Herbert, McLaughlin, that's tough because you got to make a decision by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe ride the hot hand in Herbert. Let me see what Javante's status was today. Javonte Williams did not practice on Wednesday. So I would not be against McLaughlin, although he does play the Jets, who have a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have anyone else, let us know, Matt. But I would probably lean Herbert. I think he's getting that RB1 role. Like, although he does have a tough matchup, I just think he gets that type of work.
Yeah.
So I would lean there.
Who did you say? Sorry.
I would lean Khalil Herbert right now.
Herbert.
I also think Herbert's a sell high off of his big week.
Yeah.
Like, Herbert has not been great. Don't get me wrong, but like, choosing between those two. I mean, McLaughlin seems to find his way into the end zone though. So
he did look pretty good too. I mean, he had some pretty good metrics last week. I don't mind either. I'd probably lean McLaughlin just to because you said Herbert. No, I'm playing. I would. It's either.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
That is hard.
So I'm gonna move to our next.
It definitely is. As you said though, like kind of dependent on Williams.
He didn't practice Wednesday, so if he's not playing, like McLaughlin, but with the Thursday night game, like that's a tricky one. So I would keep an eye on Williams tomorrow. His practice report tomorrow. If he does not practice tomorrow, then I would go with McLaughlin to give you some clarity. So Eagles Rams playing in LA. Eagles guys, you're starting Jalen Hurts, you're starting DeAndre Swift, you're starting AJ Brown, you're starting Did I say Devontae? No, I said Swift. You're starting Devontae Smith also. I think this is a game where Goddard gets back on track. Sirianni specifically said that Goddard will get into form. So this might be the game where they scheme up a specific play for him to get a touchdown, that sort of thing. Obviously, he's been frustrating for owners, drafted in the 6th, 7th round, that sort of range. A guy that we know is talented.
You'd have to think that at some point in this season he's gonna become semi-consistent.
Right. So
I don't expect a 30-point game then nothing again. I expect some type of consistency.
Right.
Putting 15, him back in
12,
the top
10. Yeah. Goddard's a great talent. It's just getting things rolling.
Yeah.
So Eagles are looking great this week. I really like them. The Rams, I'd probably start Matt Stafford. The Eagles, we touched on this earlier. Eagles pass defense has not been good. Eagles run defense has been good. So Kyron, he's the top 5 RB right now.
I would start Kyron.
You're starting him just based on workload. He is dealing with an injury right now. Sat out walkthroughs, I believe, but McVay said he's gonna play. So if he's playing, you're playing him.
They're crazy for getting rid of Cam Akers, bro. Like, they brought in this dude in his second year. I mean, he's not a big guy. Like, he's not a huge workload build. Kyron.
Well, they drafted him last year, but yeah.
Yeah, second year.
Yeah.
And dude, like, I don't know, man. Like, he just doesn't have a build for 90% of touches, snaps.
What Ray just said, Cook should have never went to the Jets. Facts. But yeah, that whole situation with him and Akers was confusing. But Puka guys still start him. I'm not a huge on selling Puka. I think he's going to be very fantasy relevant throughout the rest of the season. I think he certainly slots in as that wide receiver too. Obviously, as you said last night, we've seen his ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I do think he has a double-digit floor. He's a very effective receiver. Proved himself to capable of being an alpha.
Yeah, like if he had to take over a game for any sort of reason, right. He could.
Absolutely. So I like Puka. I think Higbee's a solid play. The Eagles have not been good against tight end either. So I would say for the Rams, you're playing Stafford, you're playing Kyron, you're playing Puka, and you're playing Higbee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's like this is a fantasy galore matchup.
I love this matchup.
And
I'm gonna go with Eagles have been too sketchy for me this season. Rams.
You going with the Rams?
The return of Lake Cooper Cup. I'm gonna go with the Rams this week.
I'm going Philly.
I used to always get last year I had Henry and Eckler in my home league. Rip your teammates or your league mates. Diggs is awesome.
First ever draft pick was Cam Newton back in 2016 after he had that crazy season.
And then he was terrible.
He was my first pick. I love Cam Newton around that time. I think Bijan and Taylor are both great RBs next year simply because they are young and Bijan will get better. And Taylor, Bijan, he'll be the number one pick next year probably. If McCaffrey might repeat again, but Bijan's gonna be the number 2 pick.
I can't believe I was asking this, but Josh Jacobs or Justin Fields or Josh Dobbs or Justin Fields.
You gotta get Justin Fields, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a Fields owner personally, Julio. So even though as bad as it's been, it was really good last week. Cardinals play the Bengals. So Bengals have a solid defense. Obviously it wasn't that way last week, but that was Derrick Henry. That wasn't Ryan Tannehill.
Mm-hmm.
So they do have a good pass defense.
You hope Fields can get some momentum.
Like Fields just has the ability to break out at any moment, in my opinion, even though he hasn't been that great.
His ceiling is much higher than Josh Dobbs.
Right.
So if you need upside,
that's exactly how I would put it.
Maybe we'll get better.
So what'd Matt say? I got Najee as well bench. Yeah, I'm benching him right now. Oh, what Jaffet? I hope I'm saying that correctly. It's my first year doing a fantasy league, and I'm 1-3, just lost by 0.34.
Ooh.
My team is Mahomes, Breece Hall, Mostert. Oh, you got to get James Cook. Yeah, James Cook's got to be in your lineup. Devontae Smith, Puka, Laporta, bro. Yeah,
nice
we've seen
pick.
3
wow.
people.
First year playing, he's got Laporta.
Well, he probably picked him up.
Well done, man.
But yeah, props to him.
Is there anything I can do really? Okay, so first let's go.
He's got a great quarterback.
0.34 point loss, dude. This reminds me like 2 years ago. Was it 2 or 3 years ago? One of our buddies.
3 years ago.
So most of the people in our like main league is like
we're all like tight.
We're all tight, and then there's a couple like outsiders that is like friends of one of our friends that is like also tight. And bro, like one of our like closer friends like lost in the finals, dude, on a point correction.
He won, and then the point correction was like 0.2 points, and he lost.
He won the whole pot, all the money, and then like 2 days later, bro, they changed the stat, and he lost by like something like 0.3, like 0.0 something, or it was like I think it was like 0.06. Is there anything I can really do? Mahomes, Hall, Mostert at bench, James Cook, Devontae Smith, Puka.
Yo, so Jaffet, I'm assuming he got Eckler and traded away Hopkins. Look at his third comment.
I recently pulled off a trade D-Hop for Austin Eckler from a
guy that was in the gutters.
No, he
got
D-Hop
Eckler
for Eckler. Oh my god!
Wow.
Dude, well done.
Yeah, no, bro. I mean, like, look, it's tough. It's tough in the beginning of the season. Jaffet being 1-3, and bro, you're in your first season doing. I mean, bro, you got the quarterback covered. Bro. You got Breece Hall and James Cook. Mostert's a little shaky right now, but Breece Hall and James Cook are good season long. Devontae Smith, Puka, Laporta is good. Chase, so he has Jamar too, and like right, Chase.
Yeah,
Devontae bro.
Smith, Puka, Chase.
Yeah, you have a solid team, man. Like 1-3. Tough loss last week, clearly 0.34. You're getting Austin Eckler back when he comes back. So, yeah, man, you're in a good spot. Like,
dude, so Breece Hall is destined to go off this week.
Yes,
there's
going
also
against Denver.
A bunch of hype around him.
He's coming off a pitch count.
Yeah.
He's coming off of his pitch count. So, he's like full go.
Yeah. He'll be in full force. So, if I'm looking to upgrade for you, I would wait this week. Breece Hall will probably have a great week.
Yeah.
And then package him and like maybe Devontae Smith and just go for like, I don't know, Keenan Allen, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So before we get to the next game, I want to get to Ben Gween real quick. 1-3, 10 PPR. Should I trade Ramondre and AJ Brown for Austin Eckler and Breece Hall with Hall off the snap count? RBs are Jacobs, Herbert, Rashad White, and Ford. Wide receivers are Chase, T, Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson, Jason, and Godwin. Okay, you have a lot of depth.
So T. Higgins is out for a while.
Right. So he has A.J. Brown right now. So his running backs are shaky because Josh Jacobs and Rashad White would be his best two, in my opinion, right now. I don't mind that because I think you do have a lot of depth at receiver. Obviously, Godwin's on the bye this week. But you still have Chase, Garrett Wilson, who was really encouraging at coming off this last week,
that was a great week.
So which we're going to get to in a second. So you have
And
Chase,
Godwin.
Wilson, Godwin, Christian Watson even. We're not huge fans of him, but he's big playability, no doubt.
I like Godwin for now and Watson for later.
Right. So I do think you making that trade would help your team. Ramondre has not been great. Obviously, A.J. Brown is huge right now, but getting Eckler and Hall – I think would be great for you and still having those wide receivers. So I would make that trade. I would say yes.
Yeah,
make that trade.
I agree with that. You still have very good wide receivers. Yeah. Taking account Rashawn and Tyjae Spears are probably my option at oh yeah.
Yeah.
Should I take a shot at McLaughlin or Chuba Hubbard? I have an open roster spot. So if Miles Sanders doesn't play, I actually like picking up and starting Chuba Hubbard.
So Chuba's been a good running back when he fills in, but he goes against Detroit. Detroit has a top run defense.
They do.
McLaughlin, I like McLaughlin a little more just because Javonte's not practicing right now. Miles Sanders still is, so it's looking more like a split backfield right now in Carolina. I would lean McLaughlin. I would start Tyjae. I do think the Colts have a little firepower to turn it into a bit of a negative game script, possibly. So I'm going to start this team real quick. Or this game.
Put a rocket on Laporta, yep.
Yeah.
All right,
so
you go through the games and then I'll see.
Bengals, Arizona. Bengals, hopefully. I think we have to stop doubting Arizona, guys. James Conner, Marquise Brown are week-to-week starts. We're getting Josh Dobbs questions, so I'm glad you guys are picking up on him. I think he is rosterable, certainly. I would not look to play him this game. But I think Conner, Marquise Brown, and Zach Ertz are certainly three guys that are started every week in your league. Michael Wilson is a guy I want to touch on, the receiver for Arizona, who had 7 receptions, 76 yards, 2 touchdowns this past week. He's more of an intermediate guy. He's great body control, great 50-50 ball type of guy. He's a waiver wire pickup in my opinion. But outside of that Cardinals team, there's not much else there. But those top 3 guys for that team are all started week-to-week basis now.
Yeah.
Fantasy viable options, no doubt about it. Bengals. T. Higgins is going to miss this game. So I like Tyler Boyd this week. I think obviously you're starting Burrow, you start Chase, you start Boyd, you start Mixon. Those 4 guys. And then you start their defense because I just think it is opportunistic even though Cardinals have been pretty good. So I think that's a pretty easy game to get through.
And when you say start Boyd, I assume, like this is how I look at it, I assume you see it probably the same way. It's like a flex option.
Yes.
If you need a flex.
Yes.
If you have a buy or something.
Get him in your lineup. Like if he's one of your – like if you guys have Boyd basically, like he's not a top option, but he's definitely a viable play against the Cardinals defense.
I would agree. If you need a flex out, I think he's there.
We both going Cincinnati? Just to answer that real quick.
Against who?
Arizona.
Sorry. Dude, I don't know. Cincy's look bad.
I know. I just got to go with, like, I don't know. Burrow's practicing in full right now. I can't take Arizona over Cincy. There's no way Cincy goes 1-4. And Arizona has a better record than that. I can't see that. The Cardinals would be the best 1-4 team in the league, though.
Bro,
like,
yeah.
Arguably the best 1-4 team I can recall.
Cardinals at home last time were ferocious.
Yeah,
against
they beat
Dallas.
You taking the upset?
They didn't look that bad against. No, I'm gonna stick with the. I'm gonna go Bengals.
They didn't look horrible the first half against San Fran, but San Fran has a guy named Christian McCaffrey. All right. What's Scrappy say? Guys, I have a pretty solid team.
Okay, yeah, this is
holy.
No, he's trolling.
Uh-oh.
Tyreek, CMC, Paul, Bijan. Okay, not better than my Fortnite KD.
All right, back to live preparing for next up, guys.
All right, dude. Make sure to thank the bus driver.
Right.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, Calvo?
Calvo's back. Also, I wanted to say hi to Benguin. He's a new guy here.
Right. What's up, fellas?
Trade Amon Ra for DeAndre Swift.
Our receivers are CD, Pittman, Jamar.
My RBs are
yes, 100%.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, 100%, bro. You definitely need running back Swift. We are two guys that are high on Swift.
Mm-hmm.
You still have CD and Jamar as your top two guys, and then Pittman is a guy we love as a flex, certainly.
Yeah.
If not a low-end wide receiver too. So I would certainly go make that trade. That would help you out immensely. Madison is a bit shaky for us with Akers coming in, although he has looked good in the past 2 weeks. So I would definitely go make that trade. Undoubtedly.
Like the crazy part, I just started watching football and I had to like figure out who's good and who isn't. The part I actually picked up when Freiermuth was doing bad, dude. So if you did that off instinct, bro, you might be a fantasy natural.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way, I'm the kicker and the defense. Me versus offense, easy wins.
All right, Scrappy.
He's a Naruto. He just clones himself.
Jaffet says my bench is
Myers, Jordan Love, Mostert.
Since Hall is playing Denver.
Bengals D, Nico Collins.
Oh, he's a Texans fan. Nico, bro. Nico was another guy I was big on coming into the season. Yeah, he's Nico's a great play.
CJ Stroud,
so,
good for you guys.
Bro, yeah, you have a heck of a team, Jaffet. Props to you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a solid bench.
That's
I've
great.
Ever seen one.
So, moving in, speaking about Breece Hall and McLaughlin, Jets, Broncos playing in Mile High. Denver's actually favored by 1.5. Kind of surprising to me considering what the Jets did against KC.
So, Scrappy on a different level.
Facts, right? 100-man league. Oh, he is in a 100-man league. That's weak. So Jets, Broncos. Obviously, I'm not looking to start Zach Wilson by any means. Breece Hall, guys, though, we've touched on it multiple times throughout this episode so far. He's a smash play for us. Are we on the same page there?
Yeah.
Like, if you have him, he's in your lineup, undoubtedly. I think coming off the pitch count, going against Denver, we've seen every running back that they play slice them up, except for Josh Jacobs week 1, but it's the Raiders, so, is what it is.
Broncos have been surprisingly bad at defense.
Yeah.
I've never seen them this bad ever.
They're usually just trash at offense, and then their defense is always a top 12, if not top 10.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson's a start, though, certainly.
Uh-huh.
I know he's going to see a lot of Pat Surtain this week, but Garrett Wilson's just too talented not to play. We saw Terry McLaurin have success against the Broncos, so I think Garrett Wilson is going to do well. He's a guy that's in your lineup. Last week was very encouraging against the Chiefs. He had 14 targets, 9 receptions, 60 yards. So Garrett Wilson, guys, is great, but Wilson and Hall are the only two guys. Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall are the only two guys I'm starting on that Jets team. You can start the Jets defense. That's a very opportunistic game against the Broncos. Anything else there? I mean, Alan Lazard had a good game, but he's on a waiver. He's not a guy I'm wasting a roster spot on. The Broncos. Russell Wilson, I would not really look to start.
Nope.
McLaughlin, I guess you can start if you're thin at running back like Side-Eye is. I don't have a problem with that, especially if you're just deciding between him and a guy like Khalil Herbert. Broncos. What's your opinion on Jerry Jeudy? I know you were higher on him than I was coming into the season, and so far with him coming back, how are you feeling about him?
Yeah, he hasn't been great, so that's obviously a little bit disappointing, but I think he's still a guy you're flexing.
Him? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you had to choose him or Sutton this week and then him or Sutton season long.
Okay, so he'll probably be seeing, Sauce, and no one throws against Sauce. Or,
I think
Sutton
Sauce
might
is
be
seeing
Sutton.
Bro.
Yeah, so I'd go Jeudy this week. Sutton, people just don't throw at Sauce. He's a really physical cornerback too, which, I mean, I guess they just let some guys play.
Right. Jeudy operates more in the slot too.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Jeudy this week.
Okay. And then what season long?
Jeudy.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a Sutton. I think Sutton's the alpha in that offense. So who are you going with? Because I like the Jets. I like the Jets. I like what I saw out of them last week. Monday night going against the Chiefs. I think that's very encouraging to see Zach Wilson have any sort of life.
That drive he had, I mean, if you watch the game, you know the drive I'm talking about. Like when Chris Collinsworth basically creamed his pants. Dude, yeah, that was very, very, very great for a lot of Jets fans. As of now, my lineup this week with no trades would be Jalen Hurts, Olave, Christian Watson,
Metcalf's on bye,
Barkley, Montgomery, Hawkinson, Pierce, Jake Moody, and Ravens defense.
And standard. Okay. Benching Christian Kirk versus Bills, Dobbs, Myers, Jameson, Williams, Moss. Yeah. I mean, I like that. I think the Ravens D is a great play, obviously. I think you got your team right. Obviously, deciding between Christian Kirk and Pierce would be the only thing. We did state that we liked. So where would you lean on that? Pierce or Kirk flexing in a standard league?
In a standard league.
Yeah, because he is playing standard.
Yeah. Sorry, who do the Texans play again?
The Falcons.
Texans play Falcons and
Jacksonville plays Bills.
Bills. I'm gonna go with Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Pierce finds pay dirt this week. I don't think either of them is a bad play. I think the rest of your team is great. You know, Hurts, Olave, Christian Watson, second week back. Barkley, Montgomery. Montgomery has a great matchup. Hawkinson's obviously great.
To be honest, I'd probably go Dobbs.
But he has Watson Dobbs too. That's the thing.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to ship one of them out.
Maybe Jameson Williamson. I like his matchup.
Dude, I'm not starting Jameson Williams.
Wait, Metcalf? Okay, probably on a bye.
Metcalf's on bye, yeah.
Is Jacoby Myers on a bye?
No.
No.
Yeah, they play the Packers Monday night.
Dude, I don't know. Yeah.
I'd probably stick with this. I like what you got going on right now, Ray.
I think, yeah.
I'd stick with that.
Pierce.
So we're both going to the Jets in that game. Chiefs Vikings. This is gonna be an explosive game. I like Mahomes, obviously. Kelsey, that's two obvious ones. Pacheco is a lock of a start now. He's in your lineup one way or another. Two great back-to-back games. Receivers, because we know the Vikings have an awful pass defense.
Yeah.
What do you? I think Rashi. I think I said this last night. Rashi Rice is gonna be the number one there by season's end. I don't know what to tell you this week. If you got one of them and for some reason you're in a scenario where you're looking to play one of them, I don't think that's the worst you can do in terms of Sky Moore or Rashi Rice. I really don't have Tony on my radar at all, or MVS. So I think Rashi Rice is a great stash season long. I think he's going to develop as that wide receiver one there. For the Vikings, Kirk Cousins is a clear start. So what do you think about this running back situation?
We're going to have to see it again. We're going to have to see another week of it.
So are you starting Madison?
Play by ear. Against the Chiefs now.
Okay, yeah. Chiefs have a good defense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't start Madison or Cam Akers. Obviously, you're starting J. Jeff. I think Addison sees a bounce-back week. They're going to need to throw the ball. So, Addison had 0 points, only one target. That's not going to happen again, guys. I can promise you that. He's too good to not be getting the ball. So, Hawkinson's obviously a clear start. So, I like Kirk, Cousins. I like J. Jettis. I like Addison. And I like Hawkinson. I'm playing all those guys for the Vikings. Kind of obvious picks there. Where are you going with this one? It's in Minnesota, but
Chiefs.
I mean, yeah.
RIP Viking season, bro.
So
if that trade happens,
more likely
Dobbs is gone.
Wilson's not. So I only have one Packers guy. Aaron Jones. Oh yeah. Okay.
Keenan Allen.
Oh yeah,
bro. And Metcalf. Yeah.
If you can get that trade, that'd be sick.
Yeah. Keenan Allen will be gone, or will
he'll
not
be
there this
Keenan
week.
Allen. Yeah.
But not there this week.
Right, bye week.
You can go ahead and flex Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if that goes
through, you got a new guy in here. Wandier. Hope I'm saying that correctly, bro. What's up, man?
Welcome to the pod.
Yeah.
Trade Ford for Madison.
Oof.
I'm
1-3, need a win right now, and have just Jaleel as my RB2 for the week.
Rough.
See them pretty similar rest of season. Yeah. Yeah, Ford has not got. We touched on this last night. Ford has not gotten the workload we all expected coming off of like the game against the Steelers. That's hard, bro. Because what Madison has done the last 2 weeks is really encouraging. It's just
That's true.
Like, you think Akers is gonna have some role, and Akers was effective too. He had 7 touches for 55 yards, I believe.
It was a super soft matchup, so I mean, like anyone could have done that.
Yeah. Wandir, send us the rest of your team so we can get an idea of what you're working with. Obviously, you're pretty thin at running back with having Jaleel as your RB2, but we'd like to see the rest of your team, bro. Send us if you can. Format, amount of teams, and then what your lineup's looking like, position by position.
Because if you're deep at wide receiver, maybe even deep at quarterback, or like say you have one of those top 2 tight ends, and then Jake Ferguson, I think you try to ship off one of those and get a running back.
So what Ray said.
Definitely need.
Last week, Hawkinson had his first bad game. I think because the Chiefs and Vikings will be a shootout. Yeah, Hawkinson's going to be good this week. I thought the same when they played the Chargers, but no. Yeah. Hawkinson's been great. Obviously, the dud last week against the Panthers, which was really weird because him and Addison both had duds. Panthers have a good pass defense, though. Carter's highlighted that throughout our podcast. But Hawkinson's going to bounce back. It's going to be a high-scoring game. So the Sunday night game, I think this is the game the entire nation is going to be watching. That's why they have it on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Cowboys-Niners. Going to be interesting.
Woo!
I think you can start all these guys for these teams. I'm expecting a good game, something like 30-27, something like that, 30-26.
Yeah.
Cowboys, I like, I think you're playing Dak, even though, you can say whatever you want. I know you're not a big Dak fan. Neither am I, clearly. But I just think the magnitude of this game, stars are going to – CD's going to do what CD does. Jake Ferguson's going to see some action even against Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. It's tough matchups back and – like, I can say the same about Brandon Ayuk, even though Trayvon Diggs is out with the ACL tear for the season now. But still, like, I just think this is going to be a high-flying game. I think you start Dak, you start Pollard, start CD, start Jake Ferguson. You can start both of these defenses. I think
You're starting the defenses?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a traditionally high-scoring game.
I mean, yeah, but there's always opportunity for games like that. Like you're telling me Micah Parsons isn't going to do anything, or picks,
Sacks,
fumbles, that sort of thing. Like that type of stuff happens in games like this. That's what these games are decided by. So I mean, I have no problem playing either of these defenses. Obviously, if you can find a better streaming option, I have no issue with that. But I'm not scared to play either of these defenses.
Yeah, if you can, I would start the Lions over either of the teams, but
right.
These are the best defenses in the NFL, so there's obviously a lot of potential for a touchdown.
Yeah. So
interceptions, turnovers, and stuff.
On the Niners side, I keep saying not to play Brock Purdy.
He's solid, dude. He's probably the most solid floor play.
Yeah, he's solid. Obviously, I'd like to know if you have a better option. If you're, a Purdy guy and you're seeing this video later in the week, leave a comment. Let us know, who your options are, or if you're looking to pick someone else up on waivers. Sam Howell is the clear top waiver wire pickup at quarterback, in my opinion, going against Chicago. Carter and I have that rule: play whoever plays Chicago.
Yep.
You're starting CMC. I don't think I have to say that, but I just did. Ayuk is a great play this week. Saw him dominate last week, 6 for 6, 140 yards. Debo, I'm down on this week. He's still lingering with that ribs and knee injury. He didn't draw a single target last week, had 2 rushes, was not effective, finished with 0.3 points. He was probably the dud of the week. You'd like to see him practice in full.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he comes in questionable, but he's practicing full. Yeah, so keep an eye on that, guys. If you're a Debo owner, do not be out on Debo and go sell him low. I like Debo season long. So, what's your opinion on Kittle?
You are playing him. There's no one that I would go on the waiver wire and play over Kittle. Tight end's a weird position. It always will be weird. Unless you have Kels, you can't expect any sort of consistency, or maybe even Hawkinson.
Sam Laporta. So before we answer those questions, who are you taking? Cowboys or Niners? We're in San Fran.
49ers.
Yeah, I'm taking
They kind of
San
have the
Fran
Cowboys
too.
number.
All right, so before we get to this Monday night game.
Addison's weird.
Yeah.
He is weird.
I don't have him, though. I have Jake Reed, Cowboys,
Niners.
Niners. Yeah, that's the Niners kicker. So,
Nice.
yeah, I mean, he's a great kicker to have.
Stroud was great waiver.
Yes.
He was.
Carter's been on Stroud since, I think it was week 1.
Week 2.
Week 2?
Or
You might have said something after
he
week
was my
1.
No, because week 1 he had a bad game against, I think, the Eagles. Or he had a bad game
Who'd they
against.
play?
He had like 10 points against
Baltimore. Yeah, he did have 10 points.
But he did throw for 242 yards. Right. And then it was it was
a massive game in week 2.
Week 3. So like my week 2
review.
Week 2 review, I said 3. He did well, and then
right.
Week 3 I started calling him.
He was your sleeper.
He was my waiver pickup. And then week 4 he was my waiver pickup and my sleeper.
Yeah.
Week 4 I didn't mention him, but CJ Stroud's sick.
Because you should have known by then. So Jaffet just said, if I trade Mostert and Jacoby Myers for Aaron Jones, he played pretty bad. I saw him go bonkers in week 1. Maybe he can be someone I can trade later on or just hold. I would make that move personally. Cause go
Mostert and Jacoby Myers.
I mean, I guess we can go to Jaffet's team real quick. Because his bench. So yeah. And he just got Eckler,
Aaron Jones,
Breece Hall. Yeah, James Cook.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you have no reason. Like, you have no need. Like, you have Devontae Smith, Puka, and Chase. You have no reason to have Jacoby Myers or Mostert.
Yeah, I would go ahead and do that, and then package, and then just go for a mega wide receiver.
Yeah. No, I would definitely do that. Because Aaron Jones is a guy that, like we said, has only finished outside of RB1 one time in his career. I believe that was his second season in his career. So he's a guy that gets it done, has explosive games, see it year in, year out. So yeah, I mean, I like that, man.
You could do that and then try to get Hall for Waddle, and then
something like that.
Then you still have James Cook as a backup, and then Eckler and.
So he'd have Breece Hall, Austin Eckler, James Cook, and Aaron Jones, and then you'd have Devontae Smith, Puka, and Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
And Laporta. Damn.
I mean, in that case, I would take that trade and then try to package.
Yeah.
Maybe even Smith and Hall, and then just go for
absolute
maybe
stud.
the better Devontae or
right.
like JJ.
One of those top 4 guys.
Yeah.
What'd Julio say?
Okay, it's Connor. It's Pollard and Connor for Devontae and Pacheco. I know he has a nice schedule coming, so squad would be Fields, Bijan, Pacheco, Olave, Devontae. Dude, that sounds really good. Fields, Bijan, Pacheco.
Yes. Because, like, Devontae clears Pollard, and I like Pacheco season long more than I like James Conner.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I would definitely make that trade with Julio.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Same.
Because then you'd still have Bijan and Pacheco, and then Olave and Devontae. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I don't think we gave Pacheco enough credit yesterday because we were kind of like answering a lot of questions.
He had 20 rushes for 115 yards and a touchdown.
He broke the 100-yard mark, dude. I mean, that's really good for him. Drop Elijah Moore.
What's up, Santana?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Welcome to the pod. Fantasy friends.
Yes, drop Elijah Moore. I want to stash both Ty J and Cam Akers.
Okay. I'll start with this because I'm an Elijah Moore owner too. So I know coming off of last week, like it wasn't
can't really take that for
right because Watson wasn't playing, so that was obviously not pretty to see. I'm not sure I would drop Elijah Moore. I think they have a lot of plans for him because we've seen him get touches all around the field, outside, inside, rushing. So I would keep Elijah Moore. I guess if he's the worst guy, like stashing Cam Akers, I feel like those 3 guys are kind of on the same level. Cam Akers is a bit ambiguous right now in terms of what he's gonna do.
He had negative 20 yards.
Yeah, no, he did. That was just a bad matchup.
That's actually pretty hard to do.
Yeah, that is impressive in a bad way. But yeah, no, he had that negative 20-yard rush. I think he fumbled it. But like they've shown that they're trying to use him. He had a nice game against Tennessee, I believe it was. Not anything crazy. He had 11 points. But like I'm not saying he's undroppable by any means. We do like Ty J.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ty J is a great player to have.
I like Cam Akers as a stash too.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, man, I have no problem if you want to get those guys over Elijah Moore. I don't think any of your league mates are dying to pick up Elijah Moore. Yeah. But yeah, so I think you can go ahead and do that.
That is the plan exactly, but Waddle owner is a hearted dude, low key. Oh, so you're thinking the same exact thing that we were. That's
low key
pretty
bothers me.
wild, honestly.
So maybe I'll look for Olave or Justin Jefferson.
He's so flashy. Too bad Vikings is looking at it.
Yeah.
So, you're looking at two different calibers of players there. Justin Jefferson is, wide receiver 1.
Right.
And then Olave is, lower end wide receiver 1.
No problem,
still.
Santana.
But
negative 20. Everyone's weak. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean,
go after one of those top tier guys like a Tyreek, like a JJF.
I'm gonna highlight his Eckler trade again.
You could probably get Olave for less coming off last week.
So, moving into our Monday night game for Week 5, not a real flashy one.
Oh, the Eckler trade. Sorry.
Oh, no, I just wanted to highlight and give him props again for that because that was insane.
Mm-hmm.
So our Monday night game, guys, or not our Monday night game, the Monday night game. Green Bay is going into Las Vegas. Or Oakland, as I like to say. They were better when they were Oakland. Is Jimmy G even practicing right now? I do like Jordan Love in a bounce back right now. His completion percentage is kind of low. He's in the 50s, 56% right now, so not great. We've seen him get it done this season, though. I think this is a bounce back game for him. The Raiders have a really soft defense, although they stepped up against the Chargers in that second half. But I like Aaron Jones bouncing back this week. I think he's going to reassume his usual role. I honestly like Watson in this type of matchup. I think the Raiders always give up big plays defensively, it seems like. So I don't mind Watson. Dobbs is that guy, though. So I really think Watson and Dobbs are both playable right now this week against Las Vegas.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's how I view it, at least.
So that's going back to like that earlier question we had with like who would you flex, Dameon Pierce, Christian Kirk, or Dobbs?
Right.
If that trade doesn't go through, would you like now considering that like we're in this game talking about Dobbs and Watson, would you still consider just going Kirk or keeping Pierce in the lineup?
Yeah. That's because this Packers receiver room is, not to use the word again, it's very ambiguous. Like,
yeah, Jaden
Reed's still there, Luke Musgrave, but like, yeah, you have those three. Jaden Reed's been solid. He's been efficient. It's not like we've seen him explode, but he's had. I mean, I think he had 3 receptions for 63 yards last week.
Yeah.
So he's getting usage. He's getting yardage. I think I'd like to see them all healthy and what happens. Thankfully, I'm not in the situation where I have to make the decision for my team. But I would lean Pierce. I think Pierce is on the up and coming.
Yeah.
So
I agree. And also, something I didn't mention, I do like Dobbs more than Watson this week.
Yeah.
So I'd actually sub in Dobbs for Watson if that trade doesn't go through. And I forget what I was gonna say.
So
what was that?
I would start Musgrave also.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
And
good.
My brain's on like 2 minute back stall or whatever. But we also are gonna be.
He's lagging.
Yeah, I'm lagging like scrappy plays, bro. I need some better FPS. General purpose is kind of what we're doing right here, though. So like, yeah, Dobbs, Watson, all just to go back to say yes, what you're saying, I agree with, but not that I have to, but bro, like Dobbs and Watson for general purposes, you can start both of them.
Yeah. So what did I say? Watson only played 25% of snaps, had 8.5 points. I think in that first game will be healthy. So yeah, so that's kind of how we feel. We're really intrigued to see how Jordan Love does with a fully healthy Packers offense. With Jones, Watson, Dobbs, Jaden Reed, Luke Musgrave. They don't even have their full offensive line right now, but they're still protecting him fairly well. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Watson did play pretty well considering he only played a quarter of the snaps down the field, and I think the running game will thrive, but Watson should be a good play. I think Watson's solid. I do like Dobbs a little more right now. I think him and Love have a great connection.
Yeah.
We highlighted that coming into the season throughout training camp. They were rumored to have a great connection coming. So I really like that. I do lean Dobbs, like Carter said, versus Watson this week. Watson's a big play guy, always has that potential to pop off at any time. So I want to touch on the Raiders here just to wrap things up. Raiders situation, I mean, I don't, the quarterback situation is just not very encouraging at all. Not seeing anything about Garoppolo right now. I don't think it really matters because he's not a guy you're looking to play anyways.
Yeah.
We also saw Josh Jacobs get usage out of the backfield, had a career high in receiving yards with 81, so that was really good. He has 8 receptions also. So if O'Connell's playing, maybe that's a little trend we see. That's rookie quarterback dumping in the backfield. That's not something that's not anything new to us.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like Jacobs a little more if O'Connell plays, which is funny to say. Devontae's a lock. I think Jacoby Myers I like with Garoppolo. I don't like him with O'Connell. That's how I feel. I don't really like the second wide receiver in the offense with the rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So Devontae and Jacobs are the only 2 guys I'm trying to play for the Raiders. I think that's simple enough to say. Where are you leaning on this one?
I'm going to go with the Packers. I think they're going to stay in the race, and they need a win after that loss against the Lions. So
what Louis
all right, that is all of our game predictions, all that stuff. So we're just going to finish up the comments, guys, and then try to get some sleep.
Yeah. What Louis said.
We do like doing this, so we will be back on soon.
Welcome to the pod, Louis.
Yes.
I haven't seen you here yet, I believe, but welcome, man. Says, I'm in a 10-man PPR, and I got an offer. I'm getting Jefferson and giving up Keenan Allen and Scary Terry. My other receivers are Pittman and Kupp.
Dude, good for you.
So that's
awesome.
A league winning, that's one of the ones where, yeah, sure, you're sacrificing that depth. And obviously Keenan Allen's been great. He's like a point ahead of Jefferson for the title of wide receiver 1 overall right now. But I that's one of those ones where you might feel like it's risky, but if you want to win your league, dude, you don't play so many players. If you're playing Kupp and Jefferson at the same time, and Pittman is a guy that Carter and I both like, that's a trade you got to make.
Yeah.
Only one guy wins.
Dude, yeah, you're getting Justin Jefferson. Not much. You're getting the best player out of that deal, and then Scary Terry's just a depth piece for you right now, anyways.
So
Ray, the type of dude to play Minecraft on Roblox.
This guy's just.
I don't even know what that means.
So yeah, Ray. Patriots got J.C. Jackson. That's just like a classic Bill Belichick move.
Yep.
Let the guy walk in free agency, have them sign up for a great, massive contract. Doesn't work out, and then go trade back for him for a 6th-round pick. So obviously with Christian Gonzalez out, J.C. Jackson's coming back. We'll have to see how his legal situation, injury plays out. He'll probably play this week. He's probably been fine the whole time.
Yeah, dude. I mean, 2 weeks without. I like the sit.
Yeah.
I love the Chargers, so I'm gonna talk about them a little bit. 2-0 without him.
Yeah.
Also, 2 plays that came down to the defense at the end of the game, and we produced without him. So
what side I say? Been a great stream. Triple F. I like the triple F. Fantasy football friends. Shout out to you, Side Eye, for that. I didn't have many questions tonight. Just chilling, enjoy. Hey, appreciate that, bro.
That's sick.
I mean, yeah, that's man. Awesome. No, that's like genuine. Love to hear that, man. That we're entertaining enough for you to just sit here and not even ask questions. Just listen to us blibber blabber about the upcoming week. Hopefully you can take something from it. Awesome stream again, guys. I hope trade gets accepted. Be very happy about that. Yeah, Ray, absolutely, man. Mm-hmm. Carter's gonna do a live stream Sunday morning, I believe, right?
I should be on. Yeah.
Like I said, I'll be out of town. So that'll be around noon time Eastern time. We're in Virginia. So let us know how that goes for you, Ray. Louise said, thanks for the advice, guys. I was worried since Keenan was undoubtedly wide receiver 1 of the Chargers, ceiling super highly for the next lives. +1 subscriber. Thank you, Louise. Dude. Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, I mean, just to touch on that finally, Keenan is the wide receiver 1 in the offense. Obviously, with Mike Williams going down, that just funnels that much more, targets towards Keenan Allen. Justin Jefferson is just, there's levels to it. Keenan has been great thus far. It's just hard to see him continuing to be above Justin Jefferson when Jefferson gives it to you like he does week in and week out.
Yeah.
So definitely like that move for you. Jafet says, this is just a vibe. What's your guys' stream schedule? You got a new sub. Jafet's in VA, I guess.
Cool, let's go.
Cool, bro. We're in
Virginia Beach.
We're in the Virginia Beach area, yeah. So interested. But yeah, so we have our schedule is we're balancing things out right now. We both pretty busy guys. I'm in college. Carter's got a job. I got a job too when I'm not in school. Stuff outside of that, but this is something we've been doing since 3 weeks before the season.
I think we started 2 weeks before the season.
2 or 3 weeks before the season.
A month and a half now.
Yeah. So we like to do Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Friday night. Might start giving you a Saturday something just to pick up on some. Would like to do
I would definitely like to do just a live stream where we fully interact,
and we can even just go over the first quarter of the season, how that's looking one day, and just do a live interaction with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be good for our guys. But yeah, man. So Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Friday night, probably a Saturday here coming up.
Here and there.
Yeah. I'm out of town this weekend and next weekend, unfortunately, but we're still gonna be getting content out to you guys. Sunday morning, like I just said, Carter at noon Eastern time does a live stream to answer any last minute lineup questions. Obviously, not really looking for trade stuff because by that time you're setting your lineups.
Yeah.
So, just to give you a general idea of injury stuff.
Yeah.
Setting your lineups, deciding between two guys, that sort of stuff. So just to wrap that up, just give you guys the kind of basic rundown of how we do things around here. Carter's a production guy, so shout out to him. He just gets me on here to talk a little bit.
Yeah. Cool. So I appreciate you on the pod, obviously.
Yeah.
Keeps it fun, nice, and you're a pretty smart football guy. I just say so myself.
Thanks, bro.
11:30 p.m. here, 12:30 p.m. here. We told you guys 12 a.m. we would stop, and here we are at 12:30. So thank you guys for keeping it interesting, keeping it fresh, asking your questions, updating us on what you guys are doing. Let's pray we all win this week. And
yeah, man. Hope we all win.
I do pray to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for that very thing. So let's do that. You guys are doing great at this. Keep it up. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Hey, love to hear it, bro.
Yeah, all love over here, bro.
And guys, please give us feedback, good or bad. If there's certain things you want us to touch on more, things we're not doing well enough, would love to hear, because we know we don't do things perfectly. No one does. There's always room for improvement.
Yep.
Things you guys like, would also love to know that. So all around, just we're an open book.
Cool. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Have a good one.
Love to you guys. Whew. That was a good one.